Welcome back to Fantasy Author Reacts to Epic. I am your fantasy author. This is Epic. And we are getting into the Vengeance Saga, starting with Dangerous rather than Not Sorry for Loving You. If you want to see why, I have a whole video about that. It's my last video. Fair warning, it's a bit heavier. But I think it's an important video, and it's good if you're interested in stories and how to handle abuse and heavy topics like that delicately. But I mean, the tone of that aside, I could not be more freaking excited. Before we get into it too much, my name is Jacob Penrod. I am a fantasy author. I have 7 books under my belt, with my debut one that I actually felt like was worth publishing coming out in a few months. It's a fantasy revenge story about a girl named Erica. It follows her from the ages of 9 to 18 on a floating island as she seeks to systematically dismantle and to dismantle the life of her abuser, essentially. Someone who ruined her life, and she's getting revenge. And there is magic, and there is found family, and there is good times. Actually, not so good times, but I like it. Speaking of things I like, I am so excited to keep going. I could not be more thrilled. Let's get into it. So this is by Ziru, I think is how you say it. And this is Dangerous. I think maybe something more introspective after Calypso.
600 men, 600 deaths under my command, 'cause I had one goal in mind.
Make it back alive to our... Oh! Okay. Oh, okay. That's interesting. The music is telling us how alone he feels, because that's a callback to Full Speed Ahead when it goes, make it back alive to our homeland, but it's empty there. And that's reflecting how he feels. He's still so guilty even after all these years. Dang. Oh, I feel so bad for him.
My command, 'cause I had one goal in mind.
That's powerful. Let me talk over it.
No band, only this raft that I made by hand. How will I reach my homeland?
You're going to die. Because that's the tiniest little raft I've ever seen, and the god of the ocean wants to kill you, my guy. I am so anxious. Let's go.
All you have to do is not open this bag.
Ah! Oh, and he does the laugh. Oh, an old friend, because it's like how he talked to Athena, but they are friends, and he is helpful and chaotic, and I could not. Ah, okay. Oh, this.
Why are you here?
I love this character design.
You're being given final option. Consider this your one last chance.
Okay, by the gods from God Game. Oh, there's. I am blown away by this. Is basically an animation, not just an animatic. Look how much energy this has. This is amazing. There's so much characterization. Like, I know I'm supposed to talk about the story, but I'm an animation guy too, and just appreciate how much personality and energy and momentum is behind this. I am loving this.
Consider this your one last chance to make it back home, and abandon caution, wash it away like the blood your hands have known. I know if you dance with fate, then I know.
Oh, they're so fun.
If your plan's so great, then why'd you wait to say it?
Well, it's a little bit dangerous, my friend.
Ah, and it's like 80s synthwave. Get out of here. That is so cool. Okay, this is exactly what the story needed. I know where we are. This is the Break Into 3 song. So Break Into 3, it's one framework's method, Save the Cat, of describing where you're breaking into your finale, essentially. There's different terms for it in different structures, but this moment occurs in almost every story, where your protagonist is putting together their final plan, they've pulled themselves up from their lowest moment, and they're ready to kick some ass. And oh my gosh, I'm okay. Yeah, I know where we are. I'm back with you narratively, Jorge. Let's do this. Let's see if I missed any lyrics. I am so excited. Wash it away like the blood your hands have known. I feel like you're all gonna have to help me out. You know the lyrics better than me. I've done one listen through. Who talks about him having blood on his hands? I feel like that's a lyric. I know if you dance with fate. Oh, there's so much momentum.
enhance your state. If your plan's so great, then why'd you wait to say it? Well, it's a little bit dangerous.
Oh, and the color change. So it feels like a crime to interrupt this song. I hope you don't mind. I haven't done this in the entire reaction so far. I might just let this whole song play and then come back and analyze it, because I am having so much fun, and I am an analyst here, but I also love this musical, and I just want to enjoy this. I'll pause it if I really have something to say, but let's do this.
Then why'd you wait to say it? Well, it's a little bit dangerous, my friend. You need a mindset change for this. You cannot get away with playing safe for this. You wanna get home, put it all on the line, and put your whole brain in it. Remember every trick in your domain for this. You gotta treat it like it is the main event. You wanna get home, put it all on the line, be dangerous. All right, I'm in.
Oh, this is so good.
First up, uncharted waters. When lost, look towards the sky. Follow the North Star, no matter how far you think you're going. You keep on rolling. When strangers look around the aisle, when danger greets you with a smile, fight your way through. Do what you must do, but no matter what, keep moving.
Oh, that's so cool.
Dangerous, my friend.
Oh, he's so great.
You cannot get away with playing safe. You wanna get home, put it all on the line, put your whole brain. Remember every trick in your domain for this. You gotta
Oh, he's fighting all the monsters, getting past them.
You wanna get home, put it all on the line, be dangerous. And lastly, the win back.
It's back.
We went through so much to get this. Keep this bag closed if you wanna get home, sir.
You won't get another time to try.
The raging storm inside won't let you get closer.
It was meant to stop you by design.
'Cause no mortal can pass Poseidon.
Yeah, okay, so he's still pissed off.
This bag and you'll never make it home. You'll never make it home.
Then why are you giving it to him?
Don't you know that danger is
Oh, that.
life I've trained for this. I cannot tell you how much I have paid for this.
Ah, that's so cool.
Put it all on the line. I'm gonna use ruthlessness. Every trick,
Ruthlessness.
every skill,
Ah.
use for this. I plan to put an end to all the foolishness. I have to get home. Put it all on the line or be dangerous. Hermes. Thank you. Don't thank me, friend. I'm not the one who fought for you. Then who? Good luck.
Hell yeah. This is exactly what we needed, and exactly when we needed it. This is breaking us into three. Now, I know narratively, or I know from a musical perspective, you have two acts. You have the first act and the second act. But narratively, stories are all, like I said, kind of shaped the same. And you can break them down into 3 acts, you can break them down into 7 plot points, you can break them down in any way that you want. But they generally have the same shape. And so this, like I said, is our break into 3. It's taking us to the climax. He's buckling down. He's doing what he needs to do. Let's go through this and see if there's any lyrics that stick out. I just want an excuse to listen to this again. I hope you all don't mind. I'm going through it twice. A little nervous, but I'm just in this for the fun, not for analytics. So, oh, I love it. Okay.
Talk to Calypso. Why are you here? You're being given a final option. Consider this your one last chance to make it back home and abandon caution. Wash it away.
So,
Blood your hands out.
narratively, he's both speaking to us as an audience, but also to Odysseus. He's telling Odysseus what he needs to do, but he's also flagging to us as an audience, this is the point, things are changing, there's no coming back, this is the final option, this is the one way. And it's setting the stakes. And so if you feel hyped hearing the song, on top of like the awesome musicality of it, it might be because you're sensing instinctively that fact that, okay, things are kicking off.
I've known, I know, if you dance with fate, then I know you'll enhance your state. If your plan's so great, then why'd you wait to say it? Well, it's a little bit dangerous, my friend. You need a mindset change for this. You cannot get away with playing safe.
Oh, they've Cersei warned him that things would be dangerous, and he didn't care. And I think someone else told him it would be dangerous. So dangerous is actually a recurring motif. And I think I remember saying he wouldn't mind because he's less scared of losing his life and he's more worried about losing his anchors to life, Penelope and Telemachus. So that feels like a callback to that. Oh, I love this animation. Tricking your domain. I'm thinking trickster domain, but I think that's D&D. I don't think that's mythology.
You gotta treat it like it is the main event. You wanna get home, put it all on the line. Be dangerous.
All right, I'm in. What do I do?
First up, uncharted water.
This is how you do a montage. This is how you do time passage. Don't just give us 7 years later at our most emotional moment. I get why he did that. I'm not trying to diss it because I do understand the creative vision. It's different than how I would have done it. But I feel so much more narrative momentum this way, where we get a song that's taking us through things. And I know some of you said that with Different Beast, you liked how things were exposition heavy. Where it felt like you have to do that. What else would you do? It's a musical, and this is after the first act, so you need a recap song. This is how you convey that. This is how you recap it. You get things moving fast, you get a lot of things happening, and you keep it so exciting at the same time, and so captivating. The writing of this is so much stronger, I think.
When lost, look towards the sky. Follow the North Star, no matter how far you think you're going, you keep on rolling. When strangers look around the aisle, when danger greets you with a smile, fight your way through. Do what you
So
must do, but no matter what, keep moving.
he doesn't feel cruel in this to me, Odysseus, but he is showing he's not afraid to kill when he needs to. Like he's still doing what he has to do. I just kicked my little fill light, and y'all can't even tell. So I'm going to just leave it. One of you is going to be like, the lighting is different, and I can't focus now. If you're that person, I apologize. It's been really fun having you on the channel.
It's gonna be dangerous, my friend. You need a mindset change for this. You cannot get away with playing safe.
I love the shark.
You wanna get home, put it all on the line and put your all red in it. Remember every trick in the domain.
So he's encouraging him to lean into his wit, which is interesting because that's been his coping mechanism that's kind of like bitten him in the ass a few times. But he's saying, this is one of your strengths. Like, I feel like this is a really positive message after all the trauma he's went through. He's saying you still have things that make you you. Lean into that. That's going to get you home. Even though we know as an audience, even if he gets home, he's not he's going to be different. But like the prophet said. Anyway.
Treat it like it's the main event. You wanna get home, put it all on the line. Be dangerous. And lastly, the windbag.
I don't understand where the windbag comes from, and I don't understand why he's giving it to him if he's saying, if you open this bag, you won't be able to get home. Because, like, it seems like he's getting home without it, right? So it feels like you're setting him off on a voyage, and then you give him a nuke, and you're like, don't push this or you'll die. And you're like, okay, thanks. Why would I ever do that? Why are you giving this to me? I don't think it's an issue with how it's written, unless other people are confused as well. To me, I am confused. I'm also a bit of a dummy when it comes to things like this, and might just be missing something real obvious.
Much to get this. Keep this bag closed if you wanna get home, sir.
You won't get another time to try.
The raging storm inside won't let you get closer.
It was meant to stop you by design.
It was meant to stop you by design feels significant to me, but I can't totally parse why. The raging storm inside. Storm, thinking back to the song, was a metaphor for his grief. Is this saying his grief, like his internal grief, is what's not letting him get home? But by embracing the things that make him him, he can still navigate past that and get some semblance of it. But if he lets it out and fully, languishes in it, is that a word? I'm an author, I should know this, that it'll stop him. I don't know. How do you all interpret that line?
That you get closer.
It was meant to stop you by design.
Cause no mortal can pass Poseidon's storm. Open this bag and you'll never make it home. You'll never make it home. Don't you know that danger is
Oh, I
my
love this
friend? My
animation.
whole life I've trained for this. I cannot tell you how much I have paid for this. I
Oh,
have to
so
get
this is so
home.
upbeat, and I feel so much for Odysseus because he's been through so much shit. Like he really, really, really has. And this is his last shot, and he knows it, and he's just willing to take whatever he can. Yeah.
Danger is my friend, my whole life I've trained for this. I cannot tell you how much I have paid for this. I have to get home, put it all on the line. I'm gonna use ruthlessness, every trick, every skill.
This, that sword choreography is stunning.
Gonna use ruthlessness, every trick, every skill put to use for this. I plan to put an end to all the foolishness. I have to get home, put it all on the line, or be dangerous. Hermes. Thank you. Don't thank me, friend. I'm not the one who fought for you. Then who? Good luck.
Okay, so you all saw how much I adored that song. I think that might be my favorite, or tied with Ruthlessness. Critique time. Windbag confuses me. Here's another thing, is the character arc. We saw in the Thunder Saga that he was a lot more jaded and ruthless and hardened and self-deceiving, and in this narrative where he was the monster and he wasn't letting other people in. And I think this doesn't conflict that, but it also doesn't lean into it as we're getting to the key moments of the narrative. So I think even though this is so fun, I think it's doing exactly what it needs to do narratively. I'm feeling a disconnect as a viewer because I saw that, and then we had the 7-year time jump, and he seemed less like a monster and more like, I'm being abused, help me, oh my gosh, and now he just seems determined. So I feel like the monster kind of disappeared. I imagine it's going to be coming back, but this feels like, you know what feeling I get watching this? If any of you, this might alienate some of my audience, if any of you have played the game Persona 5, you go into these palaces, these mind palaces, when you're finishing a stage of the game, and then you get this music that kicks in that's just so hyped. And it makes this feeling of like you're at the end of a video game almost. And it's so cool. I think we should have seen just a few more character moments in this of that monster side, or shown how that monster side dissolved in the last saga. Anyway, small critique. Let's get back to it. All right, so next up, this is by Virus AP, and we have Scary Boys. Scary Boys. Oh, that's a D. This is like Charybdis or something, and I just sound like an idiot. I write books. All right, Scary Boys. Let's figure out what the Scary Boys are. That's embarrassing. Okay, so we got a monster.
You must be who Hermes mentioned. A monster here to block my way. I'd like to.
I thought he was talking about Poseidon.
This. So if you don't have much to say, then oh, bring it on. I'm not dying here. I'm still fighting here. I'm holding on till I see it through, till I've beaten you. I already know your tactics. When you swallow, you attack.
How?
With whirlpools that attract prey, but I see a
Oh, he just figured it out there. Okay.
I just have to avoid you. See if you don't spit it out soon. All that water will destroy you. Oh, breathe.
I love seeing the analytical side of Odysseus in combat in real time. That's so cool. It shows us an insight into how his mind works. I was confused. I thought that this was previous knowledge that he had about this, about Scary Boys. That's this monster's name, canonically. I thought he knew about Scary Boys, but I think this is him piecing it together in real time, and that's hard to convey with the music without being really on the nose. So even though I feel like it doesn't fully give us the tools to understand how he's getting where he's getting, I don't know that he could have done it much differently. So I think it's doing what it needs to do. So this isn't even a real critique. I'm just wasting your time. Okay. Again, I kind of feel like I'm in a video game. And I feel so much momentum. I feel less momentum with this than I did the last one. Like I feel like this is saying, and then monsters. And I know it was somewhat set up by Hermes, but I also feel like this monster wasn't mentioned at all. And so it feels a little weird for how important of a moment this is in terms of narrative placing to have Scary Boys randomly pop up.
So if you don't have much to say, then oh, bring it on. I'm not dying here, I'm still fighting here. I'm holding on till I see it through, till I've beaten you.
So I almost wonder, I feel like now that I know a bit better where we are narratively, we have to resolve this Poseidon plotline, and he's in the ocean. And I feel like the ocean has very thematically represented his grief. I don't know whether Jorge intended that, but the musical is written in a way where I think that's a really valid reading. And right now we should be getting like the climax of the character moment. And I don't know, instead of climaxing, I feel like Odysseus this is a dangerous sentence. Instead of the narrative reaching a climax right now with the character arc, I feel like this is a little different. So how I would have written it, I think, is instead of this monster, if we are leading into Poseidon, so I might just sound like a big dummy if this doesn't happen, I would have the waters just slowly start getting choppier and more of a storm. And then instead of a literal monster, have this monster be this like domineering storm that becomes like from little ripples in the water to bigger waves till he's like dealing with full on tidal waves. I feel like that would be more consistent with the world that we've had so far. And I also feel like it would be thematically a bit richer. And if we are leading to Poseidon, then it would feel less like Scary Boys and then Poseidon, and more like here's Poseidon's power building. I'm not going to be arrogant and say like the way I would write it is any better, but personally, that's what I would do.
I already know your tactics. When you swallow, you attack with whirlpools that attract prey. But I see a disadvantage, cause I don't even have to kill you. I just have to avoid you. See if you don't spit it out soon, all that water will destroy you. Oh,
See, I'm not sure he knows about how it'll destroy him.
till you're out of breath, till there's nothing left. I'm holding on till I'm in the clear, till I'm out of here.
Oh, that's a storm. I'm a really good singer, guys. If you didn't know, you can get me for the Epic 2. That's an interesting callback, because Storm is when he was facing his grief, and now he's diving head on. And that only reinforces my opinion that having a callback to Storm musically would just make me really love to see this be another escalating storm. Not that I don't love this, because I do. Oh, he beat it. That was anticlimactic. Oh, he's almost home. This isn't good for him. This is gonna go bad.
My wife and son are past these shores.
Oh, he's been through so much.
I'm almost there, my love, don't be scared.
It's too happy.
Hold on, I
Uh-oh. Wait, Penelope means something's about to happen.
No!
Shit. Okay. I think this moment right here.
No!
I think that should have been the song. Personally, that's what I would do, and I'm not saying I'm right or this is wrong. I think this is really effective at what it's doing. But to me, it feels a little bit more like a video game than a... Dad is proud of you. Feels a bit more like a video game to me than a narrative. And I know video games can have narrative. I hope you know what I mean. But yeah. Not bad. Not as good as Dangerous. Let's go on to Get in the Water. That's not good. Why is it called that? Don't get in the water is what I would like. This is by Messy Moon Mess. Let's check it out. Ooh, I love the horse imagery coming in.
There you are.
Oh. So thematically, this is exactly what we need to happen. He's been setting up this confrontation with Poseidon, who, remember, is a mirror of Odysseus. So this is almost like a self-confrontation with the monster side of him. That's been set up this entire story. And narratively, we had the monster at the 20 song mark, so 50%. We need to change from opening as just a man to a monster, then either back to just a man or some kind of happy compromise. But he's not going to end as the monster. And I think symbolically that's going to mean he is going to... This might sound stupid because it's a god. Eloquently speaking, kick Poseidon's ass. It would be a thematic ass kicking and a symbolic ass kicking. Okay, I'm not sure anymore. We're gonna watch.
I've been waiting.
Oh, his voice is so good.
For the perfect time to strike. When you're home so close and you've reached your coast. That's when our paths collide.
Heck yeah, okay. This is, like, I'm nervous for him, but narratively, this is so strong. This is exactly what we need to happen for Odysseus' character. Thematically, right before he gets home, where he was before, he's being put in a similar situation to show how he's changed.
I've got a reputation. I've got a name to uphold, so I can't go letting you walk, or else the world forgets I'm cold. Now get in the water.
Ooh, oh, that's intimidating. Get in the water, drown yourself in your grief is symbolically what this is saying. He's being faced with what a true monster looks like. Because I think Poseidon, like, he does have humanized elements, but he's a representation of Odysseus' monster persona. This is a final confrontation with with himself, essentially. Can't you just pull him into the water? No, he can't, because this is a power move. Like, he could just drown him. He could just kill him. He's shown he can do that. But he doesn't want to. He wants to humiliate him.
Get in the water. Or I'll raise the tide so high, all of Ithaca will die. Get in the water. Wait. Get in the water. Stop this, please. I'll make tidal waves so profound.
Dude, it's been 10 years. Let it go.
Your sun will drown. No! Get in the water!
I love him. Okay, so thematically, I keep saying it. This is just exactly what we need to be doing. This is so good. And we see another situation where Odysseus he has to choose between A and B. Save yourself or save your people. But I think this time he's going to choose option C. and find some way to overcome Poseidon. Which, the reason I think that, even though that might sound dumb, is because symbolically, for a character arc, that's him overcoming this fatal flaw. And that would be so satisfying. I don't know how it would be pulled off in a believable way.
Your wife and your son will drown. No! Get in the water! Get in the water! Don't mistake my threat for bluff. You have lived more than enough. Get in the water!
This is showing just how pathetic and scary this monster side of him really is.
Get in the water! I think your son and got his eyes.
Ooh, that animation is chilling.
Unless you choose to die. Get in the water!
Unless you choose to let your dark sides totally consume you and give into your grief, is what's happening here. Aren't you tired, Poseidon? Really, though? It's been like 10 years. It's been... Really?
We're both hurting from losses, so why not leave this here?
Wow.
Just go home.
So Odysseus is... This feels humble to me. He's still not apologizing, but I'm okay with that. This feels like a lot more in character. He's saying, look, can we just put things aside? He's still hurt, and I bet he's still mad, but he's willing to just put the monster away if it means he gets to go home. And that's really powerful growth, and this is exactly where we should be seeing it manifest. I wish that the Wisdom Saga was leading up to this rather than that time jump, though. That would make this hit so much harder.
I can't.
Interesting.
Maybe you could learn to forgive.
Oh. This feels sincere to me. In the music and in the performance. Like, I think we've seen from Odysseus, he's not afraid to get stuff done when he needs to get stuff done. But I don't feel like he's manipulating him here. Maybe he's going to beat Poseidon through kindness. No. Even if that would work narratively, like I think there's a way to do that narratively. The last two songs have felt like video games. I think we're getting a boss fight.
Ruthlessness is mercy upon ourselves. Die!
Ooh. Oh, it's so symbolic and it's been set up, this whole story. And he's drowning. I see you swallow your last breath. He doesn't die here. Oh, Eurylochus.
Get in the water.
Okay, what's going on? I was with it right up until the end. It hit me emotionally because I love these characters. I don't think he's dying. I think this is a reaching deep down and channeling inner strength moment, which works, except that, from what I understand, Jorge had, in the animatic, like the official one, Odysseus, or Eurylochus and all of Odysseus's men try to kill Odysseus in their last breaths, which is why I think personally, if I was making that scene, I would have had them just stand there and accept it in like paralyzed grief and heartbreak. I feel like with Eurylochus and the men, it could be really impactful, and you could see it as like they're coming to empower him. But even if that would work thematically, I feel like the characters were in a way that betrayed that idea in their last moments to where it doesn't work anymore. Who knows what's happening, though. Let's go to 600 Strike, finishing off this saga. Flash warning, this is by Duvet Box. Oh, duh. Did I say, is he going Super Saiyan, or did I just think that? Because he has a wind bag, he doesn't need to be a Super Saiyan. I will say, if he uses this wind bag and then still gets home, that feels cheating a little bit narratively, because we set the clear stakes that if you open this, you can't get home. And I don't think that was symbolic. I think it literally meant physically you can't get home. So if he still pulls that off, it feels more like, hey, here's your secret weapon to beat the boss, and good luck with it. So I feel like that would be cheating just a little bit. But let's see. So he did use it. Oh, this is a cool design. It reminds me of Dracula from Castlevania. He's continuously using it.
I don't think you seem to get it. I can't afford to die, 'cause I will get back to my son. And I will get back to my wife!
Ooh. Oh. This is cool. I will say, I believe him. Like, he wants to get back to his son and wife. He's so close. I think love is driving him. I do still think it's a coping mechanism, and it's more of an ideal, even though I do think he loves them. But I'm a little, to be honest, even though I'm really, really enjoying this, I'm not fully grounded in Odysseus' character anymore. My ability to follow him as a character got broken after Thunderbringer and that time skip, where it seemed like we had this massive character development that we just didn't get to see. And so even though I am loving this, I feel like it's not hitting the beats that it needs to be hitting because it's not contextualized. We could have this exact same song, an exact same sequence, and if the wind bag was set up differently, and I guess maybe it's fine as long as he doesn't get home, but I don't think that's happening. And if his character arc was set up in the last saga, instead of focusing on Telemachus and Athena, who I know were in the original, but this is telling a different story, this would be hitting better for me if that happened. As is, this feels like a video game boss fight. That I mean, I love video games, and I love boss fights, and I love this, but that's what it feels like to me, rather than a really compelling narrative moment. But let's see. Oh! 600 Strike. He's fighting not for himself anymore. He's fighting for all of his men. This is so close to being so effective. I think it's missing the mark, but all of the bones are there, and this is a concept album. The fact that this show gets compared to Broadway stuff by fans is such a massive compliment, because those shows, they have developmental editing for the story. They have whole teams that work on them. And this is like a first creation from a person who's really passionate online. Like, the fact that it's this good is fantastic. And that said, I feel like this is a really powerful emotional moment that lost the wind in its sails, so to speak, because of how the Wisdom Saga was handled, as well as the men's last moments. With some minor tweaking and developmental changes, this could be so powerful. And it still is working for me, like I said. It just feels a bit more like a video game moment than proper narrative. That sounded so dismissive of video games. That's not reflective of how I feel, but I don't want to take the time to break that down right now. Ooh, he stole the trident. That's, again, a powerful metaphor, I think. Reclaiming the side of him.
Can't you see? You sealed your fate just to beat me.
Oh, so he did. He is facing consequences for that, for opening the bag. As long as they don't as long as they don't immediately undo that by beating a boss battle or something, I'm okay with this. Yeah.
You released my storm when you opened that bag. Blocked your one
His voice.
way home. Now you'll never get back.
Ooh.
You're going to call off that storm.
Or what? You can't kill me.
Exactly.
Oh shit. He's gonna torture him.
Wait. Wait. Ah! How does it feel to be helpless? How does it feel to know pain? I watched my friends die in horror, crying as they were all slain. I heard their final moments, calling their captain in vain. Look what you turned me into. Look what we've become. Enough.
Oh, I feel for him.
That I've been through. Haven't I suffered enough? You didn't stop when I begged you. Told me to close my heart. You said the world was dark. Didn't you say that ruthlessness is mercy upon our... All right. Please. After everything you've done, how will you sleep at night?
Next to my wife.
Hell yeah. Oh. Oh. I loved this. And he's getting home. I loved this. I loved what this could be. Like you can see it got a reaction out of me. It has the bones there. It has the structure that it needs. But there are a few things that I don't think are firing in the way that they need to for this to fully connect. We had this bag of winds that was given to Odysseus, but ultimately ended up feeling like an excuse for a boss battle and to have him beat Poseidon, instead of feeling like it had these genuine lasting consequences for him. And so you set up this thing that's like, hey, take this just in case you need to open it, but if you open it, you can't get home, and you're not really given a reason for why outside of that. And saying it happened in the source material is not a good reason, because people like me do not know the source material, and that shouldn't be a prerequisite. So the wind bag is an issue. Absolutely love him confronting Poseidon. I love what that means symbolically. Confronting this monster side of him that he thought he embraced and left behind. But it feels a little bit to me like the musical wants to have its cake and eat it too, where it wants him to be this monster, or it wants to show this character change and this growth in him conquering this monster side of him. But it's also still having him be monstrous. And I like the nuance of that. I like the gray area. I like showing it's not clear cut. But for me, it didn't fully connect as a character arc. And I feel like it could. It just wasn't quite there. I absolutely love the moment as he's just falling apart. It's weird to say I love when he brutalizes Poseidon, but I mean, like, just from an aesthetic standpoint, that's really, like, visceral and cool. But from a symbolic narrative character arc standpoint, that is so powerful. How he's looking at this grief, which I think Poseidon represents, and he's saying, look at all these things that you told me that I am. That's what you are. You don't control me anymore. You're small. You're the one who compromised me. It's not who I am. Look what I can do to you. You don't get to control me anymore. And that is so powerful. The issue is I feel like I feel like only part of his character is having this arc and not being fully embraced. And with the suitors as a plotline being set up at home and your palace painted in red, I have a hunch that Odysseus is just going to go kill a bunch of people, which can work, but if he feels monstrous there, I feel like this was the last checkpoint to be truly monstrous as a character, and now we need to be seeing his whole self as he's integrated that into himself. So I'm interested to see how he handles it, because we know the palace is painted in red, in blood, and Odysseus leaves a trail of bodies behind him. It's going to require some careful maneuvering in order to make this feel earned. I heard some people say they don't like the saga. I can see why. It felt very video gamey, which might have been the intent. That it doesn't really matter because that's still the effect that it's having, and it's getting in the way, in my opinion. But the structure is all there, and it just needs some developmental tweaks, and I think this could be so incredibly powerful. It also needs the last saga to be totally different. just flat out, in order to contextualize this, in my opinion. Like I said, I see the creative vision, and I understand why we had last saga, especially so that we can tie into how the story was presented in the Odyssey, from what I understand. But it just needed to be different to set this up fully. Gosh, I love this. This is one of my favorite sagas in terms of what it could be. In its current state, I think it's one of the weakest sagas, but it's so close. It just needs some polish and some tweaking. Get a good developmental editor in here, and you've got a really, really, really solid jumping into the third act. Gosh, I love this. It was so good. Like it's flawed, yeah, but there's so much potential. I can't believe we're at the end! Ithaca Saga next, and we are done. If you're interested in my writings, stick around for a few months. I am hopefully going to be getting some beta readers or ARC readers soon. I'm not sure exactly what the process is going to be like with my editor, but if you're interested in that, I'll be doing a community post about it probably, or let me know in the comments if you're interested. If you like fantasy and revenge and psychological depth and handling of trauma and things like that, then it's the book for you. With that said, I am so excited. So excited. I'll see you all to wrap this up. Until next time.